Welcome back to another episode of Operation Evil. I'm your host, Nyoka,
I'm Rachel.
and this is going to be our spooky stories Halloween episode, a fun one, something different. Ooh, it's going to be so scary. Be prepared.
If you hear sounds in the background, it might be a puppy and
Yes.
it might be the Xbox turning on and off because it's right here beside my arm and I keep hitting the button.
I thought I was hearing an Xbox.
Yeah, like that. Ding, ding.
Yes, you got a new puppy, and it's adorable. And she's so
Yes.
cute, and she might cry in the background. Who knows?
I mean,
Still
hopefully you can't
adjusting.
hear her, but yeah.
So we were asking for some spooky stories of any kind, and you guys did deliver. So we have several to read to you tonight. We're going to take turns, just kind of going back and forth. And we're going to leave everyone anonymous that wrote in. But thank you for
Yeah.
all the
And
stories.
I don't think any of these stories are going to scare the shit out of you, but they're scary.
Yes. And I'll go ahead and start it off. We're just going to take turns. All right, first story. So about 13 years ago, I was at one of my dad's best friend's funerals. My father passed away in 1999, and I have always wished to hear his voice again, as any person does. When I am at a funeral, that may seem kind of odd, but I lean in and whisper in their ear, "I love you. I will miss you, and please tell my dad I said hello." I did this at, I won't say the person's name, someone's funeral. And they've been doing this for years at this point. Nothing's ever come of it. But one day, they woke up the next morning while sleeping. They felt like a hug and then realized that their husband wasn't in bed next to them. And then she heard her dad say hello, like he was
Oh,
next to her.
how sweet is that?
And she realized that she was awake. And so she finally got her hello and a hug that she's been wanting so long.
Oh, I'm so happy you got your hello.
I know. I think it's a really sweet thing to just the whisper in their ear, like, "I'll miss
Mhm.
you. Tell my dad I said hi," you know?
That's a spooky good feeling.
It is.
I wouldn't say, yeah.
It is a
Would you
spooky
say
good
it's
feeling.
spooky?
I mean, I guess it could startle someone, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's in a bad way. No. So we're starting strong here. Oh, you're making a face like
Yeah.
you're going to cry. Don't cry.
It's so it makes me so happy that did she got that. Like not everyone gets that. I just love that for her.
Yes, me too. Do you want me to read another short one or you want to go next?
You go ahead and do another short one.
Okay. Second story. My grandfather passed away in 1993 in his home he had lived in with my grandmother. After his passing, the house would always creak and crack. We chalked it up to an old drafty house. And when we spent the night, we would hear the noises until Granny went to sleep and then nothing throughout the night. 24 years later, we lost Granny, and the day we buried her, the noise stopped. Grandpa was waiting around for her all those years. And that's it.
Oh.
Another sweet
These are
one.
these are some feel good, spooky, sweet stories so far.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is from
Yep, don't say who
a
it's from.
person.
Okay.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't do it. I know you want to so bad. You're like, this is from Billy Bob.
Like this is a really short one, but this person said that their father told them the story, and this happened to this person's uncle. So, it wasn't the uncle that directly told him, it was like the uncle told his brother and then he told his son kind of thing. So anyhow, this uncle lived in a house and he was like they were sitting, I guess him and his wife were sitting in the kitchen having dinner, and all of a sudden they heard like a chain dragging across the floor. And this person that's telling the story, he's kind of like, all right, I'll get you. So he lays carpet in his kitchen and then
What a
stops
funny
the chain.
response, right? Like,
I
oh,
know,
I'll take
like,
care of this ghost problem. I'm gonna lay down
yeah,
carpet.
yeah. Don't you play games with me? So then, it stops with the chain sound and all that due to the carpet. So then they're like, what did he say? I think it was like his living room. He was like hearing the paneling, like, and if people don't know what paneling is, it's like, look it up. It's from the 80s. It's like this faux wood stuff that is like adhered to the wall.
It was all
It's
over back in the day.
yeah, it was a big thing. It was very dark and just very like you would like touch it and it felt plasticky.
Hmm.
So, over time, pieces of that would peel away from the wall. So this ghost or whatever it was like messing with the paneling, like peeling it from, making it like move from the wall. So I don't remember at that point like what he did to fix that, but that stopped. And then one day, this the uncle's child was told told his father that he was playing with a boogeyman, like, and he sees this ball all of a sudden roll across the floor, like probably 5 feet away or maybe a little bit more. Just sees it rolling across the floor. And yeah, the kid's like, I'm just playing with a boogeyman. And that's it. End of
Yeah, but
story.
the way that the ball situation was described was good because he was like, "Yeah, watch me. I roll the ball to the boogeyman, and then he rolls it back, and the kid rolls the ball, and then it stops before it hits anything.
Yeah.
Then he's like, "Okay, watch this. He's gonna roll it back to me, and then it comes back to him." It
I
is
mean,
creepy.
this person told us the story today, and the way that he told it was so much better.
So much better.
So much better. Like, I'm not giving it justice at
Yeah,
all.
and he was saying like the paneling was like it wasn't just peeling away from the wall. It was like violently shaking on the wall.
You should have told this story.
But yeah, it sounded interesting for sure. Old houses, haunted.
Love them.
But he did say that the owner of the house was like open the door and it was like, I want you to leave right now. And then had the
Oh
house
yeah, they had the
blessed
house blessed, yeah.
and it stopped after.
And he would pray a lot.
Yeah. So he got rid of that haunting.
He was like, "Get
So
the hell out of here." He didn't say that. I'm saying that.
yeah. Mm.
I don't know if I've told these little tidbits before. I'm pretty sure that I have. So I'm just going to tell them again. Gary, my husband, had a couple little things happen to him growing up. Like he was in a haunted house one time where the kitchen cabinets, like he was spending the night in this house and he could just hear the kitchen cabinets like opening and closing like all night long. And that makes me think of that scene in Sixth Sense. Remember
Is
where like
yes.
he
Yeah.
yeah. Um, what else was it? There was one time where he was sleeping and he like woke up and he felt something in the bed with him and he reached his hand over and he felt something and he thought what it was one of the animals and it wasn't. It was a creature. And he said that it had hair like real coarse feeling and it felt like a Halloween mask.
What?
And yeah, he said that he heard something growl too.
That's scary.
He's had like what else was it he's told me about? One time we moved into the house where we're at now in 2008, and I think it was like a couple years after we were living here. He said that he had sleep paralysis. I wasn't home. Our child was not home at the time, and he said that he just started praying and like it kind of like went away. But I don't know. Yeah. And then we went to a paranormal kind of like um a historical house. They had like a paranormal tour set up in there,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Don't be bringing anything back."
How lame.
I know. You're no fun.
No fun. Yeah, I like how one of my family members has like a ghost pretty much on the regular basis, but they will walk up and down the steps. Like you can hear heavy footsteps up and
Oh,
down and going
wow.
upstairs. So that's always creepy too to hear
It
that.
would be it would be cool though if you could be like, if you forgot something upstairs, or if you're like upstairs trying to sleep and you need water and you're like, "Hey, while you're downstairs, can you bring me back up a water?"
Yeah, and you name your ghost, you're like, Kevin, bring me some water. Or,
Yeah.
hey, Kevin, while you're upstairs, will you turn out that light? Thanks, man. Right? Is that what you mean? Maybe?
Yeah, or hey Kevin, can you quit like stomping around your big ass feet so long, like um so loud?
Yeah, exactly. So here is another short one. It says, I will actually give the location on this. So it says, I owned a house in Erlanger a few years ago, and there was always something kind of off, like something was watching us. It was a heavy presence. Our dog would sit and bark at the corner of the front door and just stare. I used to take my neighbor kid to school since her and my youngest went to the same school. When we got in the car, my youngest looked at me and said something and turned away fast with a fearful look on her face I have never seen. I asked her what was wrong, and she replied, there is something standing next to the car.
Oh my gosh.
The neighbor kid said it was tall and black with a hat on. She said yes with a trembling voice. The neighbor said, I saw him yesterday when I came over to play with you. A dark, heavy feeling came over me, and that took days to shake. The end.
I want to know who that story is from. Tell
That's
me later.
terrifying. I'll tell you later.
Yeah, can you imagine like as a child you're just trying to go to school?
Kids can be creepy too. Like if a kid saying that is creepier than an adult saying that. If a kid was like, I see somebody there. You know what I mean? And you're like,
Yeah,
what?
for real.
Yeah. There is another short story I will tell you. I was talking to another fellow like coworker, and we were on the paranormal subject talking about stuff like that. But this person happened to mention that like a cat that they had for a long time had passed away. But to this day, they catch like glimpses of that cat still in their home. Like they'll still see their kitten, like their cat, like here and there. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like I would love to
Um,
see
yeah.
my past animals every once in a while. I don't
And
know.
that made us think of, if you haven't seen this, there is I'm sure you could find it. I think there's like a TikTok of it, and it's on like compilation videos like Sir Spooks or whatever, like those videos where they talk about this kind of stuff, but it's videos that they show. But it's a young girl and her mother. They're coming home, and there's a dog that you see on this video footage. And come to find out, the dog had passed away like a day or two before that. And oh my gosh, this poor girl is just sitting there looking. She's realizing what she's seeing. She's watching it on the video footage, not not even realizing that what she's about to see. And then she's just crying. It's just, I mean, you can perfectly see its silhouette, kind of like
Oh my
it's
gosh. Was this like from like a
see
ring
through,
camera type of thing?
something like that. Yeah.
Because they had something, I wonder if it's the same one. They had a story like that on that paranormal um caught on camera show. Have you ever watched that?
I think so. Yeah.
And somebody caught from their ring camera, and it looks like their old dog that had passed away. Like you can clearly see this dog, but it's like
Was it,
translucent at the same time.
yeah. Was it like they were greeting, like the dog had came to greet them like it would every day?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably like cry though if I saw my old dog randomly. I don't know. Be good and bad, I guess.
Yeah, it would be scary and like all the emotions.
It really would.
This next story is I'm going to use her name because she said that we could. And what's cute is when she sent us this email, she said, "Happy spooky season, my witches."
Tell us
So
her
she
name.
sent an, oh, Susanna. Forgot. Her name is Susanna.
Hi,
Most
Susanna.
most people call her Susie, but I've always,
Susie.
yeah, Susie. So the last couple stories that she has sent us, they were like stories about seeing death with a close call, and then like a visiting child ghost who wants to play. I think she sent those stories like last year, so you'll have to go back and listen for those, or even the year before. Anyhow, this time she says, I will share one about hearing the death call. So, as you know, seeing things beyond the realm of the living is pretty common for me. So, death never scared me, but made the perfect person to go to when someone is needing support to overcome some hard situations. So, during my last year in college, I worked at a small jewelry store in which I made a lot of lifelong friends. One in particular was an older lady who reminded me of my grandma that I clung to her every chance I got. She had a rough life, and like myself, she had some rough times with her mother as well. Her mother was at the time lying on her deathbed, and she couldn't muster up the courage to go see her. After talking it through, she asked if I was able to go with her, and of course, I went along for the ride. On Monday, her brother picked us up and drove about an hour to their sister's house where her mother was lying in bed. She took her time with her and she felt at peace seeing her mother at this time. I could not, I'm sorry, I could feel a cold chill in the room, and this not coming from the AC. After tearful moments, we left and made our drive back home. Not long after we drive off, I hear a whisper in my ear, like someone was right behind my seat.
Ooh.
And the whisper was 3 days.
Ooh.
Susanna, this sounds like The Ring. 7
Kind of.
days. She goes on to say, I turned my head to look back, empty space in the trunk. It was an SUV. I hear my friend tell her brother she can't go back to see her like that again. I told her she might not have much time left. That Thursday, her mother passed away 3 days after we saw her.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Susanna is very like in tuned, like spiritual, like she's very like compassionate, like, but there's a lot of times like she tells you reality, like she's not gonna bullshit you. So wow, Susanna. Wow.
Yeah.
My next story is kind of still reoccurring. So I guess I just have the motherly aura that attracts children, even ghostly ones. After the first couple of times, you just treat them like your kids and tell them off. Oh my God, this is so her. One of these days, Nyoka and Susanna's going to meet. One of these days.
I hope so.
You will, oh my God, you two will love each other so much. So when my friend, or I'm sorry, when my son was about 6 years old, he'd often come to my bedside and stand there waiting for me to wake up. And like always, I tell him to go back to bed. This time, it wasn't him, but another boy, slightly taller and thinner in a white shirt, dark hair, and glowing white eyes, probably 7 or 8 years old. At first glance, I thought I was, oh, okay. She's saying at first glance, she thought Kiddo was being creepy. So I told him to go back to bed and I rolled over. So I'm sorry, but I'm just picturing this too. Like she's telling her kid, like, go back to bed.
And you're half asleep, I'm sure. So, yeah.
So she continues to say, then it hit me. That's not my child. I quickly flipped back around to see no one there.
He
Guess he went back
obeyed.
to bed.
I guess he went back to bed.
Of course, kiddo never left his room that night. Oh boy, she
Oh my
says.
gosh.
And then she finishes by saying, now my son is a big ass teen. And after moving to Florida, I wake up yet again, another ghostly child at the side of my bed. This one about 5 or 6 in age, pale skin, dark eyes. Like before, I just tell it to go back to bed. This is the best part. Because this girl needs her beauty sleep and no one has time for these shenanigans.
That's hilarious.
My favorite thing that Susanna says is like, I'm not even going to repeat it because I'll butcher it, but there's a word that she says in Filipino, and I think it means like you witch. And it's hilarious because like she'll just like say it to you in fun, but she'll just be like, she just says it. It's just great. Like, this story was fantastic, Susanna.
It was, yeah. Yeah, that was written very well. Your personality like came through.
Totally.
But I would never like go to her house overnight since I know that, little ghost kids tend to wake her up in the middle of the night. That's kind of scary.
Oh, she told me one of the first stories she told me was that like, and we might have told this before, but like she was like on an elevator or something and like the doors open and there was just like a spirit standing there. And
Totally
she's
normal.
she seriously is the type of person where she's like, well, are you gonna get on the elevator or are you gonna what? What are you gonna do? Like, come on. That's totally her. Like it doesn't freak her. I mean, I'm sure it freaks her out a little bit, but
Well, she's
she's
used to
just
it at
like,
this point.
right. Hilarious.
That's good stuff. Oh my gosh. Is it my turn? Let's see.
More
Or
stories,
did you
Susanna.
have another one?
I think do you want to tell one? Your turn?
Yeah, I'll go and tell one and then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
This one, I can't remember if we're allowed to say this person's name or not, so I'm just not. I better not. Okay. It says, my 80-year-old dad had a massive heart attack and died in my kitchen. He was 6'7". He wasn't feeling well, so he sat down next to the stove and counter to cook. He was cooking oatmeal in the pot. When he had the heart attack, his face landed right next to the pot of oatmeal. He lived downstairs in his own apartment. I lived upstairs with my family. I got woke up by a horrible smell. Thinking my dad burnt a pizza or something, I sent my daughter down to check on him. She found him dead sitting in his chair next to the stove, head still by the pot of oatmeal. She ran upstairs and collapsed in the hallway, could barely speak. So I knew it wasn't good. I ran downstairs. I saw him from behind, said, Dad. His fist clenched in the tight ball. I walked in front of him, said, oh, Dad. Moved his body away from the stove, called 911. The lady at dispatch kept telling me to give my dad CPR. I kept telling her no. I said, he is dead. All the time looking at my dad and knowing something was wrong with his face, but my mind wouldn't let me really see it. I handed the phone to my now ex-husband, went outside rocking back and forth, not knowing how to process what was going on. Police showed up. I apologized to the officer for what he is about to see. He was like, what? When he walked in and said, oh, the coroner showed up. I am sitting next to my dad, kept looking at him, and they put him in a body bag and take him out of the back door. Next day, we start ripping everything out of the downstairs. A small yellow puddle was on the floor where my dad's body was. I was thinking, pee. Well, a few days later, my mind let me see what my dad's face looked like. His eyes had melted out of his head. His nose had melted completely off. And his skin was really tight on his face. No blood, no gore, just pink, raw flesh. What the yellow stuff was is his eyes. The night before he died, all of us went to the movies, all but my son. He wanted to go home. Oh, I'm sorry, he wanted to stay home and play games on the computer. No big deal with my dad being home. My son had been playing music on the computer. It got stuck on one song playing over and over again, Daddy's Hands. It was still playing when we got home. I had to rip my ceiling out and my drywall because of the smell of burnt flesh. I still smell my dad here and there, and not the flesh, but I confirmed it was like his cologne that she's smelling. So sometimes my dogs will just stop, look in the kitchen, and bark. I will sometimes see a shadow of a really tall man standing beside me or behind me as I'm cooking or doing my dishes. Stuff will fall off my wall in there for no reason. When I get freaked out, I just say, "Hey, Dad, you can stop now." And then, let's see, funny thing, no. Oh, she says something happened the day before he died. She could smell her aunt's perfume and cigarettes in her bedroom, like Sage was in the room with her. She says she stopped what she was doing and started calling family to warn them because her aunt would always show up before someone passes away. So that was like her warning, I guess, that her dad was going to pass. But I asked her, like, when I confirmed, like, what was she smelling of her dad? Like, was it cologne or whatever? And she said, yeah, she would smell like blue polo. That's what he would wear. And she also sent us a picture of the living area where she ripped down the walls and the ceiling and said that she never did put it back together yet. And I will post that on our Facebook too. She also,
he was 80.
yes. Yep. She said she also has had like little girl ghosts jump on her bed, and she would like open her eyes to yell at them, and then they were like not there anymore. And she said another experience is my dad saw a woman with a little dog in his room all the time, and she would never speak. He saw a little girl in there also, thought it was her oldest daughter, but then she would disappear. And she said, no one has died in my house that I know of, but it's over 100 years old. So, I mean, we don't really know. But she said there's no bad feelings there, nothing but good mojo. Because I asked that too. Like how,
Yeah. And I'm glad for that too, that it's not like scaring her
or making her move or anything like that after that experience. But yeah, her dad was 80 years old. And what a horrible way to go. I mean, I'm sure it was fast and everything, but I mean, just like how she saw them, like that.
Yeah.
That look. So that was a sad one. And I will post that picture.
That hurts my heart.
I know. A lot of these are sad.
I know. Like, him was just making some oatmeal, and thank you for sharing that with us, though.
I wonder how the daughter did afterwards. How, she sent her daughter down, because I mean, you don't know you're sending your kid down to such a scene. You know what I mean? So it's like,
oh yeah, yeah.
Like, how did that affect you, type of thing? I mean, I remember I was only 5, but I remember bits and pieces of when my grandpa passed away, like bits and pieces of that night. So, just thoughts.
I know, like my papa, when he passed, my couple of my family members saw him, and I always struggled with that, the fact that they had to see him, that they found him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe it just makes you a little stronger in some ways. I can only hope.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We need a lighthearted one now.
I know, we do.
In quotations, lighthearted. These ones the next one or two that I have, they're not really paranormal. It's more like Halloween night. Like, what the hell kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like that though. It's fitting. It's for the theme. Halloween and spooky and Halloween.
If I can get the story to pop back up.
Mm.
There we go.
Remind me to tell you a spooky story when you're done.
Do you want to tell it now?
I can. I can lighten the mood a little bit.
Do it. Because these are like involving people dying.
Okay. Well, I do have a spooky story for you, and it involves me and it involves you.
Oh,
So,
shit.
and I'm sure our listeners will understand. And if you don't,
I'm scared.
you should be. So
Oh,
I was
God.
like listening to this song the other day, and I was like, oh, I kind of like it. Like, this is good.
I'm already snarling at you.
Well, listen, this song was like, it was like good. And I was like, it makes me feel something, which that's what I base my stuff on. Like, I don't know. The music has to make me feel something emotionally, whether it's telling me a story or whatever. I have to connect with it. So, anyways, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm liking this. Who is this? And you know who the hell it was? Shinedown. It was Shinedown, dude. So I don't know if our friendship is in jeopardy and operation can continue at this point, because I was like, oh my God, if Rachel knew this, she would die. I mean,
This is Halloween, not April Fool's Day.
oh, I'm not fooling you. I'm not fooling you. And the song is 45 and I like it. And I do. I like it. I'm just like, this is my confession, my spooky story to you. Is that I like this Shinedown song, okay? I'm sorry.
I should really seriously apologize if there's any listeners that listens to that band, because I'm seriously just an asshole when it comes to music. That's the truth.
It's the truth. She is.
I'm sorry.
She is. She's wearing a Slayer shirt right now, I think. Are you? I see half of it. Yeah.
But I only like one or two Slayer songs.
So you're a poser. You're a poser. That's what you're saying.
Right now, I'm a half a poser.
Be wearing Shinedown.
This is Gary's shirt. I will not. If I see you wearing a Shinedown shirt,
that's the hard line, right? Like that's where the line is drawn.
How much of an asshole is it though? Like, just seriously, like, this is my favorite band, and then somebody's like, oh, they suck. Like, I know someone who does that a lot, and they've gotten better at it. It's just hateful because, like you said, that song, the lyrics have meaning to you. That's just a butthole thing to do to somebody.
Do you want me to sing you the song?
No.
Okay. Damn.
Sing it for our listeners.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't want to torture anybody. On the plus side, and I think you will approve of this one, is I get to see Sevendust. Woot woot.
Woot, yes. Woot. Go find, what month is it? February?
Yeah, and I need a Sevendust shirt. Do you have one I could borrow?
Gary has one. I'll steal it for you.
Yes.
Yeah, figure out what show where Sevendust will be in February, and then you can go look for Operation Evil Nyoka.
Yeah, Static X and Dope will be there too.
You're gonna have fun. Static X is like to me, they've always been, well, not always, I shouldn't say always, but like since like the new singer with the mask, it's very like Halloween-ish-esque. Okay. Like Typo Negative. Like a feel good Halloween.
There we go.
Mood.
I like it. We're gonna go with that. And a guilty pleasure of mine, and always has been, is Britney Spears. I just want to throw that out there. I'm sorry.
She was singing that right before we started recording.
I did. I'm all over the place.
Mine is Backstreet Boys.
I can't believe we're admitting this to everybody.
And Sam
I don't care
Smith.
who you are, you have a guilty pleasure. And we also own Twilight shirts. We have this thing, we joke around with Twilight, and we have matching Twilight shirts.
We do.
Yeah, we're cool like that. Okay, you can tell your story now that we've lost our audience.
Do you want an apple with a thumbtack in it?
Yeah.
Well, that's what somebody. I said somebody.
Somebody. That's what somebody was saying.
this is like off topic too, but Bailey Sarian did a story on Shad Therian and that crazy ass Taylor Show business. And there was something like she said a word wrong, like a kind of like I just did.
Yeah.
And it was just the funniest damn thing. And I think like if we do stuff like that, because we do shit like that all the time too, do people laugh
Yep.
at us?
I don't know. And I did that at work, and I know I told you about it, but I didn't tell our listeners about it. But I'm like talking to someone about HR stuff and like wellness and health stuff, and I combined the word wellness and health and said hellness. And she laughed and laughed. Said hellness. Like, where did that come from?
And then remember that one day they answered the phone and I said like I said PDS and I said BDS.
I did. Oh my god. We're
It's like
get
some
fired.
Or not. So let's talk about
just call BDS. BD.
Like let's talk about like discussing your blind torture or what is it, bind, torture, kill?
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Not like, a zoning issue.
No. BTK. Oh my god.
All right. So here's just a couple little like, you know what? I looked up murdered on Halloween, and one of the things that I came across was like all these articles on people getting killed for egging houses.
They get killed for it?
Yeah, like, or
Seems
like
like a bigger mess to clean up than eggs.
Joke's on you, mother trucker.
Wow.
Oh man. All right, hold on. I'm trying to pull this screen up.
You know how
here.
they would say like don't like throw, or they would say throw like bologna on cars and stuff because it like peels off the
bologna?
paint. I don't know. Was it bologna or like some kind of like lunch meat? You throw like lunch meat on cars and like peels the paint. Is that true? Do you know? Have you ever heard? You know when people like toilet paper houses, egg houses, and like throw. Never mind. I don't know if it works or not. Don't try it at home. So
No, I mean I think really seriously though the eggs do mess up like vinyl or stuff.
stuff.
I
And
think
stuff.
it like stuff like the eggs eat the paint off. That's what an officer in the year 1985 said in one of these articles.
Interesting. Liquid chicken.
Liquid. Oh my god, I'm not eating eggs again.
And I'm staring down the barrel of a 45.
Why do you hate me?
Just kidding.
Oh my god, you put the of a 45.
I'm a 45.
I can't. You do this again.
The ashes of another life. I'm just kidding. No.
I'm trying to find my damn story here, and I can't.
And I'm trying to entertain while you find your story.
Oops, I did it again.
Hey, baby. You know when people are like on TikToks and they're drinking coffee and stuff, and they do that slurping like.
I hate that shit.
I do too.
Like I get mad at that, like in movies and stuff, like in TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Goes right through me. Right through me.
Right through you.
That probably goes true someone. Why won't this open? Okay, here we go. Today, Junior.
Today, Junior.
Oh my god, you're seriously gonna have to edit like
so much
5 minutes out of this because I had this.
Yeah,
shit,
I'm keeping it all in.
Mm-hmm.
You better pull your shit together.
That's what she said. We're saying a lot of cliches. Open link a new window.
Hurry up! Oh my god.
This is always a thing.
This is a story all about how my life got something turned upside down.
Turned upside down. Oh, while this is happening, this whatever this is, this technology shit that I can't do. Um, remember the episodes of Roseanne, the Halloween ones? How good
They
they
were
were.
so good. So good. Really, I loved Roseanne.
And then remember the Boo Buckets? Well, we didn't call them Boo Buckets. They were just called like Halloween buckets, like the ones at McDonald's.
Yeah, they were way better back then than they are now.
Yeah, they actually had a lid.
Now they have like a pseudo lid. It's not real.
Did you make that word up or is it like a real thing?
It's a pseudo is a word, right? Am I wrong, people?
Pseudonym?
Pseudo, like kind of. And I'm staring down the barrel of a 45.
What's our newspapers email?
Women through the ashes of Rachel's life
Can't do the technology
while
very
she's trying to
well.
find the story to tell. I sent you a picture of the magnets that came in, and they are beautiful. They're like the size of my hand.
Are they like a thick or like a
They're a good size. They're a good thickness. That's what she said. Good thickness.
um yeah, so come be a guest and you can get a magnet.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our podcast to the test. You look so serious right now.
Yeah, like
My God, I'm gonna have to see more shine
I'm having
down.
issues.
What's new?
I know. Open the damn thing.
Open it up. Open it up like you do your legs.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
So after 20 minutes ago, when we was talking about getting a Tic Tac and an egg, and then it took me an hour, more like 15 minutes, to try to pull the drive back up because the drive was on a different drive in this technology shit. Here's the story. These ones are just newspaper articles. I'm just gonna read them.
Okay.
This is from the 1977.
Wow.
November 1977, the day after Halloween. So in what city was
Wait a second.
this?
Is this supposed to be our Patreon?
No.
Okay. All right.
What city is this? What city? Oh, this is in Indiana, Columbus, Indiana.
Oh.
They had gotten a report of a tack found in an apple. And then like so this officer, like this person that's writing this article is like interviewing this officer. He's a juvenile officer named Michael Lovelace of the Columbus Police, and he covered over 50 miles of the city streets from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And he was looking to catch vandals, like kids egging cars. And there was this one report of someone who pushed a thumbtack into an apple and gave it to a small child. He said, I'm going to take all the calls on vandalism tonight and relieve the uniform cars. Lovelace said as he began his patrol in an unmarked car. With a plain car, you can come in closer to suspects and see more because they don't know you're coming at them. There was, so his point, I guess, like his whole thing in this article was he was just being vigilant, trying to see, like, make sure that there was no like criminal mischief. And it's funny because it makes you wonder now these days if police could even do this. But he caught these young boys. They had like fake blood and they were putting it on this like a shed, and he took it away from them and made them clean the blood up, the fake blood.
Good.
Or like pumpkin smashing, or like toilet paper, like clean that shit up. Now it's like, don't yell at my kid. Sorry, we're getting too political. X that.
Everybody has ring doorbells now, so it doesn't work out.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
Odds are not in your favor.
No, I remember when my child was little, like 4 or 5, she did a pumpkin and someone smashed it.
Oh, and she cried.
Yeah, she was so upset, and I was like, "That's okay. We'll just put razor blades in it next time."
You would.
My husband and I both told her that. It's Great Parenting 101.
Yep.
Now, listen to this story. An 87-year-old man who apparently forgot what day it was opened fire when trick-or-treaters appeared at his door and was later shot and wounded by the police.
Oh my God.
Yeah. A 14-year-old boy. Now, this article, like, it jumps around. So it's like telling all these like these crazy things that happen, and then it kind of goes back into like each little story. And then it continues to say a 14-year-old boy was hanged when a party spoof turned real. Dracula, a pirate, and a purple people eater teamed up to rob a sandwich shop in San Francisco at Sword Point. Not knife, not gun, Sword Point. Students at an Illinois State University cleaned up with ghost insurance. Okay. And then the president's daughter, let's see, who would have been the president at the time? Maybe Carter? The president's daughter turned into a black cat shadowed by burly bodyguards for her trick-or-treating. The nation's witches what's that word?
Prognosis? I don't know.
Prognosticated.
I don't know. I don't know what word you're trying to say. I can't help.
Prognosticated.
Prognostic.
Whatever it is. And people in Berwyn, Illinois, supervised a friendly riot. How the hell can a riot be friendly?
I don't know.
It's a riot. It was Halloween. Good, bad, and deadly. I love this writing. In Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 87-year-old Willie Nelson. Nah, just kidding. I was going to say it again. Willie Wesley apparently forgot it was Halloween and opened fire when trick-or-treaters appeared at his door. Neighbors described Wesley as nearly blind, hard of hearing, and afraid of intruders. This is so freaking stupid because he seemed confused and unaware he was involved in a police action, said one officer, after Wesley was finally distracted by a SWAT team and taken into custody. You think? Like he's blind, hard of hearing, and scared. Investigators said when a group of young trick-or-treaters knocked on his door, he fired 5 shots over their heads. They ran home and told their parents, who called the police. He later was shot and wounded by police who surrounded his house and was listed in guarded condition at Broward, I don't know, in a hospital. So he was taken to the hospital and guarded at the hospital. In Houston, Texas, Michael Anthony Carter was perched on a sawhorse posing as a hanged man in the North Main Baptist Church Carnival Spook House when he either jumped, fell, or was bumped off and hanged.
Oh my God.
My God. The boy was told to keep the rope around his chest, and he took it upon himself to move it to his neck. Oh my gosh. He also decided to tie a knot in the rope, something he wasn't to do. But even then, the rope was long enough so that he would not have been hurt if he jumped down onto his feet. He either fell or got pushed off the sawhorse and landed wrong. There was quite a bit of noise, and we didn't hear anything. Oh, gosh.
Ugh.
And that boy was 14 years old.
I keep thinking about the last story with the old man. Like, I'm picturing this, like, this shriveled up old man with, like, a wife beater on and sweatpants. Yes. And he's got his, like, rifle in his hand, and he opens the door, right? And his eyes are
And-
kind of like clouded because he's, partly blind and everything. And I
Uh-huh.
just picture him being like, God damn it, who is this? You know?
Get the hell out of here.
Can you
You know
imagine
that
being a
movie,
solicitor and going to that house?
Solicitor? You better make sure someone's got him on the no knock thing and you got your list. Like, you know that one movie where that man is blind and then people
Yes.
break into his
Yes.
house?
Don't breathe
That's
or
what I keep
whatever.
thinking.
Yes.
Yes, I
That's how I picture
automatically.
him. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Oh my God. We're so in sync. Except for we don't
Totally.
suck like Justin Timberlake does right now.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh.
Let's see, in Columbus, Georgia, the fear was real, and so was its object. Uh-oh. The stocking strangler.
Ooh.
Why was it people back in the days, like, you could go to the Walmart, buy those legs eggs with the pantyhose inside, and these people that rob places thought it was a good idea to wear those on their face. Why?
I don't know.
Can someone in jail or who has been in jail that did that, can you please tell me why?
I would like to give these killers names though. Like the killers and like the criminals' names, like the stalker and Golden Bridge killer. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
media comes up with these names. That would be something I would
like a
like to do.
job.
Yeah.
Like this one guy with the blind man
Yeah.
with the Halloween blindness or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's this picture that is with this article, and there's a person that is, dressed up for Halloween, and he has a paper bag on his head with a face cut out, and it looks scary as shit. And I'm going to try to see if I can get a picture of this and put it on our social media too, because it's creepy and it reminds me of that guy that we were talking about and laughing at, that he was a shooter. And remember, they took the paper bags and put it over his hands, and he was standing
Yes.
there like making the paper bag sound.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Very.
The stocking strangler replaced traditional goblins, virtually canceling trick-or-treat activities and moving other festivities inside. The strangler has murdered 4 elderly women in recent weeks. Since he's still at large, Mayor Jack Mickey, or I'm sorry, it might be Mickle, asked that all youngsters be off the streets by 6 p.m.
But they're not
Local
the target. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I think it's okay for them.
You're so right.
As long as they don't dress up like an old woman or something.
You were trying to be serious, but that's funny as hell because it's the truth.
Yeah. They're safe.
Local newspaper. There's another picture that I saw where this it had been a young person had on like this, it looked like an old man mask with like this grumpy oversized face and the costumes and stuff back in the day, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
So local newspapers and broadcasters called for complete cancellation of traditional trick-or-treat activity, not so much in fear that children might fall victim. Oh, here's our answer to that. That the children may not fall victim to the murderer, but that they might be mistaken for the murderer and gun down find elderly people. What the hell?
No, see, I was right.
Many
No, they're not
of
targets.
which have armed themselves with handguns.
Oh my God. I'd be like, look, kids, you're safe to trick or treat. Just don't dress up as an elderly person and you'll be fine. And stay away from like senior centers or something.
This person or houses that have like,
well, they're not going to know that though, but the senior center, they could definitely dodge.
That's just crazy. That's crazy. Do you have another story before I've got one more.
No, I don't have any more stories. You're the one with it all, I guess.
Okay.
Last one, guys. Buckle in.
Last one. So this one is about, now this one is kind of sad in a way, okay? But it's like, damn. Okay, so this took place in Florida
It's
and
always
like
Florida.
2003-ish. Florida. Richard, you know what? I'm not going to say this person's name because I really think it was an accident that just it shit happened.
Okay.
Bad stuff. So this person, now this article is like he's already in court, okay? And it says that he wept on Friday. Now the date on this is May 10th, 2003. This person wept in court and he told the judge, and this person that was deceased, the family, he said how sorry he was. Now this is what happened, okay?
Okay.
Nearly 2 years ago, so in 2001, um, this person, let's call this person, um, uh, think of an old person's name.
Dawn.
Okay, Dawn. Nearly 2 years ago, Dawn flew into a rage, hit a man with his truck, and dragged him to his death while avenging the Halloween egging of his home. But the killing was an accident, said the 59-year-old man. I want to go home to my wife and my son, he told the circuit judge. And I'm going to leave the judge's name out too. Instead, just because, like, I don't know, if you want to go try to find the story, you can. But like I said, I think this was just a terrible tragedy that was a horrible accident. And I'm not trying to like glorify it or whatever, but it's just like a crazy ass story. So, anyhow, instead, Dawn, who was in poor health with diabetes and a heart condition, was sentenced to life in prison. It was a cruel crime, the judge said when he announced the sentence. Dawn was found guilty of second-degree murder last month for hitting his neighbor with his Dodge Dakota pickup and dragging him 191 feet.
Okay.
The victim, the person who died, whose teenage nephew was involved in the egging prank on Halloween 2001, died of his injuries 2 hours later. He was 40 years old.
Wow.
So the 40-year-old died and his nephew was involved in the prank. No amount of punishment is going to bring back the victim. Prosecutor at the sentencing said, Dawn was a ticking time bomb. We can't allow more people in the community to be murdered because of a ticking time bomb. By state law, the most lenient sentence Dawn could have received was 20 years and 6 months. The defense attorney asked for a departure from sentencing guidelines for Dawn, but the judge denied the request, noting a concern for safety of the community. And then the defense attorney said that he plans to appeal the conviction. Dawn stood and faced the judge before the sentence before the sentence was handed down and said, I'm sorry for what happened. Then he turned to face the victim's family seated in the back row of the courtroom. And he said, quote, it wasn't done on purpose, gesturing with his cuffed hands. It was an accident. I didn't go down there to run anybody over. That's not me, end quote. He turned back toward the judge and told the judge, I didn't mean to do anything to hurt anyone, he said before returning to his seat, wiping at his eyes with a tissue. The judge also heard from the victim's sister, the sole witness summoned by the prosecution. There's not a day that goes by that I don't cry, said the victim's sister, clutching a framed photo of her brother while her mother wept in the back row. The defense attorney called 6 witnesses, including Dawn's wife, brother, and Dawn himself. I'd like to say how sorry I am for their loss, the brother of Dawn says toward the victim's family. I can definitely stand here and tell you he did not get in that vehicle with the intention of killing someone. Anger problems have plagued his brother his entire life, and his family has tried to get him help over the years, he said. A psychiatrist and psychologist also testified saying Don suffers from a mental disorder that he would not acknowledge. And that's it.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, when I was reading this, I was like, how easy would it be for this to just happen to any of us? Whether, whatever side we're on, you know. And I mean, he was 59 years old. Like, it's
People are
terrible.
crazy and unhinged, and you have to be careful.
Yes. Very careful.
So this is being released the day before Halloween. So I hope everyone has a happy and safe Halloween. And I don't have any words
Go
of
get your boo
advice.
buckets.
Yeah.
Go get your boo buckets.
Boo buckets. Yep. And this was a fun episode. I love it. Love it. Love it. And now we're going to move on to the Patreon. So those of you who was part of that, go over there and listen to our bonus episode.
Or if you want to become a Patreon member and hear these lovely stories and more, go ahead and just sign up for that.
Yes.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. We love you. Okay, that's all we got.
And you'll get some really cool, amazing gifts too for signing up.
Yep. More voices of, well, our voices. I think this coffee's starting to wear off.
Thank you to everyone who gave us a story.
Yeah, thank you. And we want to do this again next year. So if you think of something, we will hold on to it for next year if you want to submit it anytime. That is all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Halloween. Goodbye.
Bye.